Hello, I'm Herbert. What's Hawley? You can learn much about my life and times by reading through my collection of day journals and ledgers from back in the day. I started keeping a day journal, or diary, in January 1886. In 1886, I spent a lot of time working for Mrs. Laws in Maizomanie. I also enjoyed spending time with her children, Ralph, Bert, Emma and Jeannie. I worked for her nephew, Orion P. Hazeltine, as a hired hand for the summer, April through July 1886. I earned $16 per month. I always kept a detailed ledger of all of my expenses and income every month. I made $76 in 1886 by working as a hired hand on farms in the local area. I spent $53.77 on household items, fishing gear, footwear, a violin, the circus, state fair, concerts and festivals. My diary cost me 25 cents. On March 15, 1886, my oldest brother Ernest and Charlie set off to seek their fame and fortune in Nebraska. Their departure was covered in the Maizomanie Sickle, our local newspaper. In May 1886, I wrote about the Strawberry and Ice Cream Festival at Schmidt's Hall, the Ringling Brothers Circus and Decoration Day. Many of the events I attended had also been written about in our local newspaper, the Maizomanie Sickle. I have misplaced my day journal for 1887, so I will pick up on my significant journal entries starting in January 1888. In April 1888, I set out to visit my brother, Ernest, in Nebraska. It was quite the adventure for me, and involved travel by train and stagecoach. I spent several months with my brother and hired myself out to folks in and around Hemingford, Nebraska. When I returned home to Wisconsin in December 1888, my younger brothers and sisters told me about their teacher, a Miss Eugenia Ford. They insisted that I meet her, and, of course I did. And so the courtship of Miss Ford began with visits to her schoolhouse. My courtship of Eugenia began in earnest in 1889. As noted here in my diary entry from Thursday, February 14, sawed and split cordwood all day. Asa, Corny, and the Mrs. Ford and myself went to town at night. I will spend a lot of time with my sweetheart, Jeannie, this year. Oh my, the year 1890 was a very memorable year for me and our family. It started out in January with the hen flu. Even our local paper, the Maizomanie Sickle, wrote about it. The victims of la grippe are so numerous in this community that it would take considerable space to make personal mention of each case. Nearly every home is affected. Then, on March 17, 1890, my sister, Cornelia, married Eugenia's brother, Edgar Ford, in Lodi, Wisconsin. Here are my diary entries for that very special day. March 17, Monday. Weather, warm. Corny and Edgar married. Went up to Mr. Ford's. Went up to Lodi in the afternoon. Awful muddy roads. Got back to Mr. Ford's at 8 o'clock. Edgar and Corny were married at 6 o'clock p.m. by Mr. Benson, Methodist Episcopal minister at Lodi, Wisconsin. And then, on November 11, 1890, I married my sweetheart, Eugenia. We started out our married life on a small farm that we rented from Father Ford. Note my diary entry for November 12, weather, clear. Cut some wood and looked over the place. Found it better than I expected. Christmas was always a very special holiday in our family. This year Jeannie and I spent our first Christmas at Edgar and Cornelia's home. Newlyweds all. My father and Fred joined us, as did Robert and Will Gillette, and Father Ford's folks too. We had a gay time. As you may already know, I was a farmer for most of my life, raising crops and livestock. Our family also raised chickens, Plymouth Rocks. My fowls always had farm range. Jeannie and I had 4 beautiful children. Clayton, Lyle, Letty, and Leslie. I will continue our story, using my day journals as a guide, in the next chapter of our lives together that will take us from Springfield Township to Oregon, Wisconsin. One last note, my daughter, Letty, preserved all of my diaries, ledgers, letters, notes and pictures. She truly understood the value of these documents. You can view many of these documents on FamilySearch.org and MyHeritage.com. They have been carefully transcribed by my great-grandson, John Hawley. Also, my granddaughters, Rita Marie and Marjorie Ann, have written short stories about our family, and those are also posted on FamilySearch.org and MyHeritage.com. That's all for now.